Blah. Yeah. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. Hello. He's back. Hello? Yeah, again, Matt Colville has personally smited my stream talking shit about MCDM. This is what happens. I talk shit about MCDM and now I get smited. See, the best part is I get to rename this. I get to rename the second half of this stream, effectively the MCDM rant. Part 2. So, now we're entering an XP. What was the last thing we heard about XP? Cool. So, XP. XP is pretty brutal. So, the big thing, again, you gotta remember, XP is converted into 1-to-1 to victories. We get 6 victories, that's 6 XP. Easy enough to understand, right? Well, by default, these are our level ups. So if we want to hit level 2, we must acquire 16 victories. 16 encounters. Now, this is important to know that these are not baby encounters. These are 40 encounters, so these might be a little while. Generally, the way they tell you to structure them is about 2 victories per session. 2 to 3. Sometimes they'll be smaller. It's usually a trash mob boss fight. That's the way you can kind of think of it. Trash mobs into a boss fight. So that's roughly, if we're looking at it, 15 XP, that's 15 actual decent combats. Unless you're kind of playing around with it, I would say roughly about double speed. I want to be real specific. Yeah, I would say that's why, because every time stamina increases, then it's like, because you don't really get all that. It's like, even if we look down at like the XPs or XP or whatever, it's not like you get XP quickly equal to your victories. Yeah, you're not getting a ton of these. It's like, okay, where do we get victories? Well, you get 1. You win. Cool. Yeah, you can award additional victories if you feel like, There's a lot of that. It's like, okay. All right. So, first step, let's make. Who are we? Who are we in the beautiful world? I hate the adventuring day. It's not really an adventuring day. It's more like an adventuring block of time in Baldur's Gate 3. Like, yeah, it makes less sense if you look at it. So, the big thing, as we look here, like one of the big things with like victories and stuff is like the concept of victories aren't bad. It's just that it's, let me word this nicely. People are going to award more victories per encounter than probably they intend, because it's annoying to level up and people want toys. So we got a couple ones. So origin of species, last names, and by names. This is Matt Colville autism at its finest. Colvilleism is a known thing. This is something that's very important. But our first one, tieflings. These are just tieflings. Oh, but they're not tieflings. They're devils from the hells of. Or they're tieflings. Fuck you. But fuck you. So the thing is with a lot of these is like you have like this huge block of text explaining like, this is me and lore. Like, this is actually pointless. What you were looking for is here. All of them have a signature trait. Everyone has the signature trait that makes them them. And then you get 3 ancestry points to actually play around and change things. As a tiefling, you get the barbed tail. Oh, I want beast legs. Oh, I want that to be hell sight. Or you can have wings, but those cost more points. So, Dragon Knight, otherwise known as Dragonborn, because, Dragonborn were popular in 4E, so we're obviously here. Again, you get the ability to, you have Worm Plate, and that means choose these with 3 ancestry points. Dwarves are made of stone or something, I don't fucking care. Runic carving, all of these things. Wood elf. You want to have sex with the Woad elf? Dwarfy rock. Yeah, welcome to Woad elves. I think these are supposed to replace gnomes. Because they have glamour. Yeah, so they get they're wood elves, high elves, they're elves. Yeah, it's they're elves. The Hakan, otherwise known as Goliath, they're Goliaths. I don't know what the fucking I don't know what the obsession with fucking Goliaths are, but it's like, why are there so many Goliaths? Like, are they popular? I've asked this before. I'm like, I don't know why they're so popular. It was like it felt like, oh, like here's a weird like thing in the DMG to like, oh, well, these are a staple race across every game now. Because if you noticed, almost every single fucking game we went over has Goliaths in it. Half of them do. Did you notice that? Did you notice all of them have half giants? All of them have fucking Goliaths. It's insane. It's weird. Yeah. All of these human. You have humans. Humans. A lot of them even have like quick builds. That's what they refer to them as quick builds. Hawkrim is obviously a human, and he took some. Let me see if I can find the exact abilities. Yes. So I have staying power, perseverance, and detect the supernatural. All of our human abilities. Memonik. The Memonik is the one that I didn't quite know about where they came from. It feels like they're a race somewhere in 5e, but I don't know where they are a race in 5e. It could be one of Colville's own, because I know he likes psychics. Oh, Axiom. Yeah, it's Axiom, but yeah, it's your silicon body. 4 ancestry points. Orcs. Orcs are green. That's your secret. They are green. Polder. Polder are halflings. Polder are hilarious because of this man right here. This halfling that wants to steal my sneakers. This halfling is all I'm saying is this halfling is trying to steal my sneakers, and the reason why everything is locked up at the general store these days. Like, I want you to know this, like, the reason why the general store has locked up the healing potions is because of this polder right here. Fucking polders. Fucking shorties. Not even once. Yeah. Yeah, they can just naturally shadow meld. You're small, you got all these abilities. Revenant, you died and came back to life. It's Dampier. You're Dampier. Just. Oh, what am I? I'm. What am I? I'm that. Yeah, it's you can make yourself small, effectively make yourself a dwarf, and now you have Githyanki. Yeah, these are just Githyanki, by the way. They look awful. Yeah, you don't like the Githyanki. You don't like Time Raiders, the first Psychic War. Yeah, Servitor species. Yeah, Evil Scion. You're gotten the Kuranzoi liberated themselves during the first Psychic War. They're fucking Githyanki. They're just Gith. Yeah. Uh, Time Riders. Psychic Scar. Yeah, and you also get the ability to blast motherfuckers with psychic powers. Gif wonky. And then we have the ability to make our culture. So I actually kind of like this. It's a little weird the way that they want to do it. So if you're, for example, they kind of like, oh, typical human, typical this or whatever. Effectively, what happens is you pick your environment, you pick your organization, and you pick your upbringing. 1, 2, 3. You pick all of those three, and then you pick pretty much any language that goes along with it. You can make these very generic, or you can make these very open-ended. I like the idea for it. It's just... I... Eh. It feels like there should be more of these, mostly because there are exactly 2 ways to organize your community. There is bureaucratic or it's communal. There's no way else to organize communities. Always understand that. Which is to say, they're going to put out an expansion and add more options there. So, careers. Yeah, most careers, for example, let's say Cockrum is an aristocrat, so these are all of these things. He gets these skills, he gets the language, he gets wealth, he gets perks, he gets all these cool things, and the inciting incident doesn't really do anything. Not really important, it's more of a build thing. But yeah, most of the backgrounds give you something. I can do this, the criminal underworld. Oh, discipline, I get to do this. Oh, cool, I'm an explorer, I get all these things. Yeah, most of these are pretty normal. Nothing's too out of the ordinary. You could probably find one being like, well, if I combine all these together, that's fucking broke. Watch officers are good because they just get alertness right off the bat, because alertness is fucking alertness. Why wouldn't it be good? So, we have managed to get through this. All right, we've managed to get through all the hard parts. Uh, Ow. So we've got all of our various classes, all names slightly different. So all of our unique heroic resources to manage. Yeah, every single one does have something different. Not all strikes. Yeah, cool. Boy. Oh geez. Get used to these. Memorize these if you want to play. I'm not gonna go over them because it's things like this. It's like, okay, here's how the cube is, here's what the line is. You're going to play this on a VTT, by the way. Yeah, but I don't need to play it on a VTT. You're going to play it on the VTT. Understand. It's okay. There's nothing wrong. You got your characteristic damage. You got your abilities with damages and effects. So, for example, if I have an effect such as this, our power roll, which means our abilities. So if, in this case, for power roll plus intuition, we would power roll plus intuition, we would roll the dice here. Congratulations, we have rolled the dice. We have rolled a 6 plus an 8. That would be a total of 14. 14, we look at that. I do 6 plus my intuition and holy damage. If my intuition, if my agility is higher than theirs, actually no, if their agility is higher than my save, then I make them go prone. At level 1, these are effectively your saves, your potency. So if, for example, I have an average of 1 potency If I were to do something against someone's presence with a -1, I would succeed. It is a check. Yes or no. Very binary. A critical hit. If you roll a natty 20 or a natural 19, congratulations, you got a crit. What do you do with a crit? Well, you take another action. That's really it. Now we have surges. Okay, so let's go back to the list here. Let's open up tokens and let's select token 5. 5 tokens. So, the Troubadour's Battle Song, Fury. So, when you gain surges, you keep track of them. So, also, you can spend your resource to improve your potency, but don't think about it too hard. There's a lot of little things going on here. Don't think about it. So, what you do, you can spend up to 3 surges to deal extra damage to one creature. Or, you can spend 2 surges to increase the potency by 1 for an effect. That's what surges do. Do you get surges? Yes. So, yes, I should put a note. It would do +2 damage because my highest ability score. Are you following along so far? Are we all good? Are we all Gucci? Yeah, a lot of spending unique resources, stacking effects, saving throws, a lot of things that go on in this game. It's very technical, but a lot of it's not complicated. It's just a lot. It'll make a little bit more sense as we go. Ignore the cleric class, because this is a cleric class. Well, it's kind of like a cleric and a paladin had a baby. And also, here's all of their abilities. Again, 4E, it's been a while. It's been a while, 4E, buddy. And maybe if we kiss and make up, you'll forgive me for all those insulting things I said about you. The conduit. This is the cleric. Again, babe, it's fine. Don't worry, 4E. I love you and you love me. We'll have a big happy family. So if we use the piety here, if we look at Beacon of Grace, for example, it requires 9 piety to use. And we make a magic ranged strike. We're making an attack. Range 10, power roll plus intuition. This is what we do. And until the end of the encounter, damage the target using the ability, cannot spend a recovery. Yep, there we go. It's things like that. It's very not too complicated. Also, by the way, when you roll for piety at the start of your turn in combat, yeah, no, you get to increase your piety randomly every round. You remember that, right? Also, here is the wizard. So, hey, Mr. Notepad, I need to know, how do we do magic? Well, you choose an elemental ability. All right, we are choosing an elemental ability. All right, cool. Well, this is your subclass, technically, and you get essence, and that essence in combat, you gain 2 essence, start of each of your turns, so this little dial's clicking up a lot. Now, let's do something very simple. Here's your basic ability. Here's Hurl Element. Every round, this is your basic melee, this is your basic attack. This is your auto attack now. It's Hurl Element. That's what you do. So, we have practical magic. Customize your conjurations. Wow, cool. All of these abilities. So, here's all your abilities that you get. Beyonding a vision. Here's your ability. Oh, cool. Your specialist triggered actions. Cool. Oh, make sure you got all your enchantments of battle. Okay. I have no fear. Don't forget. It's very important. All right, we good. We good. We all good. Elementalist abilities, signature abilities, afflict the manifold decay. All of these abilities, of course, elementalist abilities. Yeah, so choose 2 signatures. All these. Instead of having things like a spell list, for example, you instead have these. You have a lot of abilities. And we're going to quickly zoom through a lot of these. Yeah, it's 40. It's 40. It's 40 magic. Claridins. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I think some people are going to get annoyed that they don't actually have the fact that they don't have a spell list and they have abilities on cooldown effectively. It might annoy people. There's a barbarian. You're going to be. You want to know what barbarians do? You're correct. They hit people really hard. And they build their ferocity. Cool. Neat. What? How do you build ferocity? You hit people. Yeah. Cool. Right. Right. Yeah, you're fighters from fucking World of Warcraft. That you use rage, you build rage, you get bonuses for having high rage, then you spend rage to do something. Because, that's what you do, right? Because you're playing World of Warcraft now. Good old kits. Little Stormlight kits. Corvin kits. Ooh, yummy kits. Also, the Null. The Null is a psychic monk. They're monks. So, if I remember correctly, we're not. I'm kind of zooming through this, but Nulls can do a lot of Nulls can do some cheesy shit. Mostly when it comes to movement, people. Mostly when it comes to movement, you can pull 3 and things like that. What I mean by you can do some cheesy shit is you can find some abilities that push and effectively Gmod force them into a wall. You can effectively Gmod force clip people into walls and have them die. Oh, that sounds really cool. Yeah, you say that, but until you you realize, wait a second, I can Gmod clip people into walls as a tabletop game. It's a little weird. Shadows are rogues, by the way. What do you mean? Shadows are rogues. They play rogues, and what do you do as a rogue? Well, let's play a little game. Can you guess what we do as a rogue? You guess? Hey, right? You got it? You guessing? Can you guess? Well, we have insight. We learn your weaknesses, and then we use abilities. We have combo points from World of Warcraft. They're combo points. All right. Okay. All right. I'm okay. You're okay. We're all okay. Nothing wrong. Right. Yeah, anytime you deal combat, you deal damage incorporate, you get 2 instead of 1 surge. Yeah. So manage 1 resource, get another resource. Right. Cool. Radical. I love it. So Hakram is a tactician. This is the closest thing to a fighter that there is in the game. Therefore, we are playing a tactician. Now, as a tactician, we already have our might and reason chosen for us, and we have these 3 options. Not too many. We already have our skills chosen for us, we already have our stamina chosen for us, and how much we actually get per level. The big thing, though, is we choose our tactical doctrine. We get Insurgent, Mastermind, or Vanguard. Hakram is really none of those things. So Hakram ended up having to take a mastermind because that was the closest thing that he could do because he's smart, not charismatic. Now, you can't gain focus outside of combat because at the start of each turn, I gain 2 focus. I use a damage creature marked by a mark, so if I use the mark ability, then I gain 1 focus for a first round combat ally within 10 squares. If you use this ability, I also gain 1 focus. Catch up with that? Did you catch that? Okay, I'll go over it again. At the start of each turn, I get +2 focus. Anytime I mark an enemy and one of me or my allies hits the marked enemy, I gain 1 focus. The first time in combat that any ally within 10 squares of me uses a heroic ability, not signature abilities from other class, a heroic ability from their class specifically, I gain 1 focus. I lose focus at the end of an encounter. So, Mastermind, Studied Commander. I get all of these abilities. Doctrine Triggered Action. As a Mastermind, I get Overwatch. Cool. Anytime during target's movement, one ally can make a free strike against them. So effectively, I use my big brain and tell people to fuck them up. Yeah, and then we get Field Arsenal. Okay, so Field Arsenal is perhaps the most broken fucking ability in the game. I'm going to tell you why. So, one of the things with Field Arsenal is that you have 2 kits, the coolest thing in this game. And you get to effectively mix and match them to do whatever you want, including items and abilities and things like that, including using their signature abilities. Hakram has Panther and Shining Armor. He has a heavy weapon and heavy armor, and all of these benefits. Because, guess what? He is fucking Hakram Taveli Vo Malavok the fucking third, and he has a big fucking sword. But we'll also talk why his kits are kind of fucking weird. Oh, yeah, don't forget, we also get Mark, which are all of this, which we did to do extra damage, by the way. Don't worry about that. We can spend focus to actually do things. So, actually, if I mark you, this is important, I mark you, and then we get an edge on power rolls. We roll an extra d10, and we get to take the bet. We take the best result. Actually, no, if we take an edge, we get a +2 on things. That's a different one. Additionally, we deal damage marked by you. I can spend focus, which potentially might give me 1 or 2 focus back, depending on how the wording goes. I can spend 1 focus and let them use a free triggered action, which deal damage equal to twice my reason score. Deal damage that creature dealing damage can spend recovery, can shift up a number of scores equal to my reason score, or various things. Is it a little bit weird? Yes. And then you can choose focus abilities, which cost focus to actually use properly. Don't worry, we can give everyone surges. Hakram's not that kind of guy, unfortunately, for everyone involved. He's a very quiet man, so instead he went with concussive strike and mind game, using my big brain to fuck with you. Mostly because I get to use my might. And a funny thing is, I attack to demoralize, and because my brain is bigger than you, you get weakened, so I fuck with you. Also, before the start of my next turn, if I effectively, I can hit you. If I hit you with this ability, I mark you, and then they can attack you, which might trigger different abilities on top of those other abilities. You are playing this on a VTT. I want you to remember that. And there's more. Have no fear. Have no assessment that we will be doing more. Technically, Vanguard probably would have been a better option for him in the long run. Uh, I just I just thought that wouldn't be. He's a smart guy, so why not capitalize off of it? A lot of more abilities, more things, more focus, more abilities. Here's the psychics. Here's the psionic class. You're a psionic. Fuck off. I don't. Psionics in fantasy are either I'm very mixed on psionics in fantasy. Here's the fucking bard. We already know what the fuck the bard is. Don't think about it too hard. It's a fucking bard. Who cares? It's a bard. The funny joke is that he has a guitar. There we go. So, that is over half the book. By the way, I should add. Over half the fucking book of abilities and little tweaks and little numbers. I can read over something. I think there's some people. If you look at the draw steal thread on TG, you can probably see the people who are dedicated to this and can point out to you the really funny things of Gmod clipping and other abilities like that, because it's an extremely technical game. So, what is a kit? So, do you like items? Do you like items? If you say yes, you will fucking hate draw steal. Because ironically, you aren't drawing steel. Each kit. So let's do we'll do something like the where's a good one that's nice. Okay, we'll use Panther for example. So actually no, that's not a good one. So we'll do Raider for example. Battlefield like a Viking warrior. So as a Raider, we wear light armor and wield a shield. Look over here. Boom, boom. Now, you may be wondering what light armor. Just light armor. What's a shield? Well, I have a shield and a light weapon. It's a light weapon. Don't think about it too hard. Draw Steel doesn't have any items in that way. They have consumables, of course, but those aren't real items. You have any equipment you have is very generic. You have the light armor TM, shield TM, and light weapon TM. But each kit also gives you a stamina bonus per echelon, per tier of play. Maybe a speed bonus, melee bonuses, range bonuses, bonus damage, and disengaged bonuses. And they also give you a signature ability to work with. Signature abilities are effectively going to replace your auto attack. So as a raider, you will be using Shock and Awe for every single attack pretty much. But why? Because that's the right thing to do. There's no reason you should not be doing this. This is considered a strike. You get a bonus damage for things, so it's okay. You're doing okay. You're going to make it. Some of them don't have abilities, such as Pugilists. You only wield your unarmed strike, but you do that. Now, as a tactician, I get both. I get two. So I get to have all of these things. I get heavy armor, I can use a medium weapon and a shield, I can get all these kit bonuses, as well as the protective attack ability, but I can also, if I go up to Panther for example, I get all of these bonuses as well, but I have to choose one of these, and I also get the speed bonus and the devastating rush ability. Tacticians are really cool in that regard. You might be thinking, wow, that's kind of neat, right? That's kind of neat. There's a lot of abilities here. All right, cool. Some are really specific. Well, good news. That's it. That's it. I like kits. I think kits are cool. I like the thing here. My thing is, I want double the number of kits, with just more shit per, or I want half the number of kits, but let me customize them a lot more. I want to be able to use. I am playing a cool weapon master, the master of all weapons, because I'm a cool guy, and I want to be able to say, cool, I want to bring out my giant sword to fight this giant monster, but oh no, I'm going into a cave, let me draw my 2 knives and start killing people. That's cool, but I cannot do that, because that is not how the game works. One of the problems with the kits is that there are a lot of kits, but they're also very specific kits. If you want to play a Belmont, you play the Belmont ability. You play a Whirlwind. That is what you play. If you want to play Sword McHero Man, you play Sword and Board. You have medium armor, and you have a shield and a medium weapon. Oh, hey, I want to play a spell sword. You play a spell sword. You play this. Let me draw steel. And why am I want there to be like double the number of these because they are cool, but I also want like half of them as well, and let me just pick and choose some things. I would rather be able to say, okay, cool, here's a kit. You get a kit. Okay, you can have, here's all your options for armor, here's all your options for equipment, here's some bonuses, here's some like things that pick and choose. Oh, well, I want to have heavy armor and heavy armor. I want to have a heavy weapon and heavy armor. Cool, that's 4 out of your 5 kit points. You now get very little else. Oh, well, I'm going to take some problems here then. Okay, cool. Like, you can customize your kit to be a little bit more you, or you double the number of them and let people have a lot of options available to them to make sure that someone who's playing a wizard does not just pick. Like, if you're playing a rogue, you're probably going to be playing with Cloak and Dagger because you have Fade, and Fade is very good. Or you might play an Arcane Archer because, guess what? You have an Exploding Arrow, and that's pretty fucking good. Like, you have options, but some of them are very particular. Like, Gusamir, like, ah, cool, you use a polearm for combat. Okay. Anything else? No? Okay. Like, if you're looking at that, it's like, all right, maybe not. Because you also get some weird things there with like technically with a tactician. If you are playing a tactician with like the Gusarmir, for example, if you were playing that, you look here, signature ability doesn't have a, oh, it has to be really specific. You just get a melee 2 ability to attack now. You just get that. But wait, that's not how it's intended. But, yeah. What says it's not? What's saying it's not? What's saying as a dual wielder I can't use double strike and forward thrust, backward slap mash? What's saying I can't? That's the that's the sometimes they don't anticipate that, and it's like, ah, I see. I went with something pretty basic. Just I'm literally a charging knight man, and with a big sword, and I swing it around and hurt people I don't like. But do I get a bonus for using a heavy weapon? No. Do I get a special thing if I'm using a great sword? No. I am using a heavy weapon. It is no different than using a battle axe. It is no different than using any other weapon, as long as it is considered a heavy weapon. But then you get shit like Whirlwind, where it's like very specific. It's like, god damn it. Now, one of the weirder things is during the beta. During the beta of the game, they actually had the arcane ones. Now, the arcane kits were like wands, and there was like, I think there was a gun in there. They had a bunch of different things in there as well. And it could be like, oh, I want to play a fighter, but I'm a fighter with a gun. Or, cool, I'm playing a fighter. Like, oh, I'm playing a rogue, but I have a wand. Shit like that. Like, you could do arcane kits. And when I saw this, I'm like, wow, where are the rest of the kits? And they just weren't there anymore. They removed the coolest part of the game because I like the idea here. I think it's pretty cool. It's a neat idea. It's just I want more of it. I want like double the number of it. Perks are perks are like little abilities, and they exist. Complications also exist. You don't need them. They exist. Some of them are some of them are very specific. Others are I am the protagonist now. Fuck off. I'm like, ah, I see. I see. Very much a open up and talk to your players about it immediately. We got some classic orcish fetish art, but don't worry, it's fine. So we've finally made it all the way down of how to actually make basic tests. You roll 2d10, and yeah, this is the actual non-combat section of the game. This is it. You want to do non-combat? This is it. Are you happy? This is the entirety of the non-combat aspect. Non-combat is really not important. They're trying to make it important. Ah, yeah, it's really big. Success with a reward. Oh, it's how long does it take? The heroes make tests. It's not really that important. They try to put it in there, but it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, if you have a skill, because skills on the back of the book, I should add, in the back page of the character sheet, if you have a skill, you have a +2 to it. That's it. It's not an edge, it's a +2, which is still good. It's just a +2. Yeah, it's traded for another skill when you wish, because you can just do so. Again, it's like skill groups, very basic stuff. Nothing too exotic here. Again, what do? Roll, consult this. Oh, I want to assist. Don't, because you could fail and then make everyone's life miserable. Group tests. Ah, let's make a group test together. It's a montage test. So montage tests are effectively skill challenges from D&D 40. The concept of a montage is over the course of time, you are all making different skill checks in order, effectively. And if you make a lot of successful skill checks, good things happen. If you fail, you fail. And so, for example, if it's an easy montage check, everyone makes a check and different skills and abilities. Ah, cool, we scored 5. That means you did it. Ah, man, we scored 5 fails. Ah, well, you did. Well, you did. Well, you did. Oh. Now, in a strange set of affairs, in theory, go all the way up here. Uh, yeah, technically, easy montages are not possible. Have no fear, sorry. Because you can't fail montages like that. But on the other hand, ooh, ah, ooh. Yeah, montage testing and like, oh, you get special abilities, times, and stakes, and director sets the scene, and introducing more challenges. It's yep. It's like interlude, fight a dragon, cool. All right, you're at the real section. You're at the real part of the game. The reason why we're here. Combat. It's a grid-based game. Don't think about it too hard. All right, cool. The argument timer. All right, taking a turn. So who goes first? Who acts next? Yeah, okay. So who goes first? Well, uh, we roll. We then alternate hero, villain, hero, villain, hero, villain, hero, villain. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You get three actions: main action, maneuver, and move action. What are main actions? Pretty simple to understand. You're being able to attack, attack and do everything like that. Maneuvers are special augmenting actions or little actions. And then you have move actions, which are to fucking move. Movement is not exactly that complicated. Let me see if I can find the bizarre fucking thing. Forced movement. So, forced movement is where things sometimes get a little goofy. So, why is forced movement a little goofy? Well, because of Gmod collision. So, when you force a creature to move into another creature, both take 1 damage each square remaining of forced movement. Forced movement into an object. Movement ends. Creature takes 1 damage each square remaining object forced movement. We'll move a creature and object larger size several small. Once, but not each smaller kill. Alright. So, what is the secret here? Well, the secret here is that you can slam people into things. Yeah, object doesn't break. The movement ends target plus 1 damage for each square remaining of their forced movement. Now, what does this mean? Yeah, this is a very important thing. Effectively, depending on how damaging things are, to destroy 1 square of glass, 1 square of stone, so 6 remaining squares of forced movement to deny 1 square of stone. Creature move takes 8 damage. So, what you can do is force them into objects as hard as. The optimal strategy in some places is to move close and punch them as hard as physically possible to do a huge forced movement away. If you do a huge force movement away, such as slide 5, they slam into the side of the wall, taking all the damage. Then they break it, and then they go further. And so what you want to do is effectively force them into Null force the commando 1 square, then slams them into a thick wooden wall. Null force the commando through the first square wall by using 3 squares of force movement, resulting in the commando taking 5 damage. Let's push 1 square. They are pushing the next square wall, which doesn't break, but it results in commando force movement ending and taking another 3 damage. One for the square foot of force movement left over, and 2 for colliding with an object. Yes, the entire goal in life is to throw people into walls. Mostly stone walls, because they can take 8 damage. So if you can manage to get 12 squares of forced movement, you can force someone to take 16 damage. Very easily, in fact. 16 damage is not a small amount of damage, as you can see. Especially when you start doing things to force them to remove. There are things certain characters can do to remove and force them back into Gmod collision physics. It's great. Yeah, maneuvers are things like catch breath, escape grab, knock back, use consumables, and then we get healing, free strikes, granted abilities. Yeah, opportunity attacks, standardized free attacks, how to flank people. If you flank people, I believe you get you get an edge on them, which you want to flank people, and you want to get as many bonuses as you can, so you can automatically do damage better. And then you start doing lots of more damage and stamina, recovery values, then you become winded, and then you start dying, and then, well, yeah. Ugh. temporary stamina, object stamina, underwater combat. So we have saved the day. We have done the thing. So congratulations, you have managed to do this. You've managed to get through combat. Now for negotiation, it's okay, I'm going to try to explain negotiation as simple as possible. The entire concept of negotiation is wing it, but you're trying to build their you're trying to decrease their patience, but you're trying to mitigate decreasing their patience, but increase their interest. Interest high, patience while patience is your time limit. Your interest is really high, they'll try to be helping you. If they are not liking you, they're going to be trying to fight you. So you want to get to about interest 3, but interest 4 or interest 5 is what you want. That's really it. It's downtime projects. They are used for fucking everything. And it's like, do get like 2 project goal on things. They're really slow. They're really slow unless you have abilities to let you do things, if that makes sense. If you do not have abilities to give you additional project goals or ways to help mitigate that, it takes for fucking ever. Treasure sucks. Just being honest, a lot of them are consumables. And when you do get cool items, it's like, oh, well, they have to, you either to get the trinkets, which are not really that bad items. Cool, you can get anything you want. Yeah, okay, I want a magic. Hey, I want a cool ability. I want a cool sword. I want a magic sword. Well, no, you don't get magic swords here. Why would you want? Why do you want a magic sword? Well, because I want one. No one can use Steel Tongue except the guy who picked up Whirlwind. No one can use the polearm except the guy who picked up Gusimir, because he has it. Yeah, it's a little bit odd. How many titles do you get? You get titles by doing things and being a certain level. Good job. Cool. But it takes forever to level up. Oh, cool. Renown. Here's some wealth. Can't buy anything, though, because there's no items to buy. You know. Cool. And then some setting detail things. A lot of setting detail things. And some director stuff. Plan scenes, doing effectively design it like a video game, don't design it like a TRPG, and you will be a lot happier in life. What do I mean by that? I mean, don't aim for effectively in Vidya games. In Vidya games, usually there is a set pieces. There are set pieces. That's what you're aiming for. You're aiming for set pieces because that's the optimal way to play. And if we open up the MCDM monster manual, $35, please. The fucking PDF I should add. So, here's a bunch of shitty goblins. So, why are goblins the way they are? Well, because they're goblins. Now, one interesting note about why combat is kind of weird in some ways, they also auto-hit. You have to remember that. Goblins also auto-hit. No matter what you do, level 1 goblins are going to hit you for 1 damage. And if 5 of them hit you, they will do 5 damage. But notepad, I'm wearing heavy armor. Yeah, that's cool, but that just gives you extra health pretty much. Hey, you get the Spine Cleaver. Cool, it's a level 1 minion brew. Ah, cool. Wow, it's 10 stamina, 15 goblin warrior, and then you get the goblin monarch, a level 1 leader uh, who will minimum do 7 damage to you or summon ads. That's what they do, and he has 80 fucking health. So do that. Fight a griffin. There's a griffin, 80 stamina. Get ready to beat up these things. Sometimes it does feel like some of the monsters are a little bit bulky. But they're a little bulky because you should be, hate to say it, but you should be cheesing it. Your might and stuff is always increasing, and you should be learning to cheese things. How do I maximize my damage? How do I play mind games with people and do 10 damage a pop? 180 doesn't seem like a lot, but if you, oh, well, I'm doing, well, the fight the Shadow Elf Eclipse, I've got a bunch of my abilities to make sure that I can do off my damage correctly. Yeah, I gotta min-max my damage, bro. My build is on point. And I think that's the secret here, kids. It's my build is on point. My builds, my things are on point that are correct. So majority of these are pretty simple stuff, nothing too exotic. Grants allies, creatures who grab, creatures, some harmless creatures. So what's the basic idea of malice? You get to malice by being a dick. You spend her heroic resources, they spend malice, and they get malicious strike. Yeah, minions all share HP pools. Yeah, attached squad captains. I am the captain now. Counter difficulty, standard encounter, hard encounter, a standard encounter. What is the standard encounter? Number of heroes, let's say 4. So a first level encounter strength is 24. Alright, so calculate party's ES. First determine each encounter strength, baseline of 4, which you add 2 for each level of the hero. So a 24 for level 4, factor in victories, of course, and for every 2 victories earned, increase party's encounter strength if you want another hero in the party, and determine your encounter budget. Minus the encounter strength of 1 hero. There we go. Yeah. Consider groups to build initiative groups. Quick encounter building. Yeah, it's little bit goes into it, so don't worry, GM. You're going to learn how to do that. Get ready to do that. You like encounter building, everyone? Is encounter building fun and exciting to make sure that everything is vaguely organized? Yes. Here's the thing. There are going to be people who love draw steal. I'm not going to lie there. So, I'm not going to lie, Draw Steel is going to have fans. I think Draw Steel is going to have a suitable fan base of people who really like this game. And I think the people who are going to really like this game are going to defend it against everything. Do I like it? Not really. Not my jam. I like ideas, I like kits, I like things like that. I think this is a very expensive book for a very expensive crowd who wants to have what they want and very little else. This is the people who want 4th edition. And I want you to ask that question, do you want 4th edition again? Do you want 4th edition? 4.5 edition, maybe, with more shit edition? If the answer is yes, I want more 4th edition, then Draw Steel is going to appeal to you. You have to run it on a VTT, though, because you're working with juggling 6 tokens at this point because of Malice. People will be juggling multiple tokens that sometimes interact with one another. And when things start interacting with one another, it starts breaking down. And that's a lot of tokens, that's a lot of time, that's a lot of effort, that's a lot of things that go on. Is it the be-all, end-all? No. I think it's going to have fans. I think people are going to fight for this game, and it might stand the test of time. Will it beat 5th edition? Will it kill D&D? No. No, far from it. That was kind of me talking about the... how do I want to word it? Earlier I was talking about the concept of looking through the forest and not... looking through the trees and not seeing a forest. And I think a lot of these games kind of have that issue for various reasons. And there's a few reasons for it, but I think the main one is I think there's a few reasons. I think people look at Dungeons. How do I actually know? No, I think a little bit of history here. Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition came about because people were looking at 3.5 and people at Wizards were going on the forums. And they were saying, oh man, I want combat to be cooler. I want marshals to be able to do things that wizards can do. I want all these things. I want X, I want Y, I want all these things. And 4E is every single thing people said they wanted. They hated it. This isn't what I want. I don't want it. Give me 3rd edition again. And I think this is what a lot of these games are. I think it's that same cycle. And it's that same cycle because people are complaining, oh man. Like, oh man. Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition combat is lame, and I want better combat. I want more abilities. I want this. I want that. I want blah, 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 blah. Without realizing, I think the reason why people like D&D so much is because A, it's generic enough, and it's, you know, fantasy. It's fantasy, TM, and all these games do that. But they like it because of the people they're with, of the things they're doing with, because of that roleplay element, and because there's so many bullshit abilities. They may not understand them, but they like the options. It's always nice to be told you have something and not know how to use it than say you don't have these things because I don't trust you with them. And that's what it really feels like for a lot of these games. Because a lot of these games feel like they dropped the RP stuff. They were like, oh, this is a tabletop role-playing game. Cool. What if we just made it a tabletop game? That's why I say like Draw Steel is probably the best fantasy board game ever, because like a lot of like the non-combat stuff is like, oh well, wishy-washy. It's very, oh well, just improvise, just do your own thing with it. Like a DC-20 has very little in terms of non-combat stuff. Nimble has none, effectively. It has effectively no non-combat material to work with, really. Fucking Shadow of the Weird Wizard does have non-combat stuff, but it also leads back into a lot of these games don't also have settings or anything to really base it off of outside of Dungeons and Dragons and Faerun. And that's really funny, is that all of these games, outside of Shadow of the Weird Wizard being kind of the counterpoint here, there were tieflings, there was a dwarf, there was humans, dwarf, elf, tieflings, hobbits, or fucking halflings, there were the Goliaths, and there were really generic things, and it was things that were safe because we played them in D&D 5th edition. None of these games exist without the concept of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition existing, and I think that's its greatest weakness. And I think all of them can suffer from that, distinctly. because Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition exists, every single game must compare themselves to it, and it's now, oh, I gotta be better than D&D, rather than I gotta be the best I can be. And I think that's the biggest problem. I think that is, honest to God, one of the largest issues facing a lot of these games in the market, is that they are competing against each other and to make the best combat system for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, rather than trying to make their own game that happens to be inspired by. Like Shadow, that's why I think Shadow felt kind of weird reading through, because Shadow the Weird Wizard was like, I don't fucking care. I use a D20 because I like a D20, and I'm gonna make my game the way I want to make it. Compared to DC-20, I want to make D&D combat better. Or Nimble, I want to make D&D combat faster. Or MCDM, I want to make 4th edition. Like, it's shit like that. And it's like, okay, you don't want to make your own thing. You want to make your comparison point to another game. And that other game is bigger, more well known, and probably better than yours, because they've got a shit ton more people. Oh, that's not better than my game. My game's perfect. It's wonderful. It has all these cool things with it. Yeah, and it has about a quarter, not even a quarter of the audience. Not even a fucking fragment of the audience. And those people don't care about that. They care about the fact that Dungeons and Dragons is on the cover and there's a fucking dragon on it, and we get to roll the d20 to make my elf shoot your goblin to steal his pocket change, because that is what D&D is. It is going into a cave to steal goblins' pocket change. And all of these games bulk that up. Like, they do. They change the idea of going into caves to kill goblins for pocket change. Some make it longer, some make it shorter, but they change that without really looking at the problems. And I think that's why the OSR is... I think NSR will probably last longer than a lot of these games. I think, again, your Shadow Darks and things like that, they're going to last longer. They're simpler, they're easier to pick up, and it's still 5e. Oh man, Shadow Dark's so unique. It's such a unique and innovative product, even though it's just fucking 5e. They don't fucking care. People don't give a fuck. People don't give a fuck about your 5 action system. They don't care. Why should they? They have no reason to care. You know, it's like, oh man, cool. Do you care about the 9 million abilities in my 4e hack? Like, no, they don't. They're like, wow, cool. 5e could really use some of this stuff, and then they'll take what they want from here and they'll apply it to their 5e game, and then get mad at you when you don't make a 5e conversion later. God bless the internet. God bless tabletop role-playing games. My name is Notepad Anon, and this was the D&D Killer stream. Or at least the Nothing Ever Happened stream. Hopefully you all had a good time. A little bit long. It's 3 o'clock for me. I'm going to go get dinner now, I guess. Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Or night. Whatever time it is for you. I am, as they say, away.